News Radio Wham 1180 welcomes you to the Seniors Rock Show. The Seniors Rock Show, a lively weekly discussion shedding a bright light on aging with fun, entertainment, and important info for all adults. Join us with your comments or questions. Call or text 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now, from the News Radio Wham 1180 studios in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Well, hello and welcome and good afternoon. I am Joanna and I'm here with my co-host, estate planning attorney Mike Robinson, and our studio producer, Pam. And you can also be part of the show today, by the way, why? Because we're live. Yes, we are Real Talk Radio. So the number is, you ready? Jot this down or put it in your phone, 585-222-1180. Or if you're out of town somewhere, maybe in France, maybe Pierre, you're listening, 1-800-295-1180 in the next hour. And you could call for, I'll give you a couple examples. You might call for advice from our guest expert. We have those on a lot. And today, the guest expert is going to discuss vertigo and dizziness. Emily Pulowski is a doctor of physical therapy, and she's experienced in treating folks with these issues. And she's with Agape Physical Therapy's Chile location. You probably heard me talk about Agape. It's a local family, and I like to say grown, not owned. It's grown business with a professional expert staff, and they have multiple locations, and they're wonderful people. Truly, it's a combination of exceptional care, great people, and a passion for service to their clients. And I know this, Mike and Pam, I know this for sure because you've heard me. I was a patient there myself, and so was my husband, and they helped us with rehab after our joint replacement. So, great experiences. I totally recommend them. And you can get your questions answered today from Emily, and she's coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow, I think everybody knows, is Mother's Day. And maybe you'd like to do a shout out to your mom. Again, we're live. So give us a call. In the second half of the show, we're planning on having some fun. And we're going to give you a chance to win tickets and celebrate Mother's Day. Maybe bring your mom or a loved one to the RPO's Beatle concert. And if you are about my age or Mike's age or anybody's age, you should know the Beatles, and they're fabulous. And it's a great concert. I've actually experienced that before, where they had it a couple of years ago. I totally recommend it. And this year is the 100th anniversary of the Philharmonic, and we're celebrating with them big and Beatle. So when you hear a Beatles song title today, you're going to call, right? It's 222-1180. If you are the fourth caller, because yes, there are four Beatles, you will win 2 tickets to the Beatle concert at RPO. We're going to talk more about that today, but keep that in mind. Listen for those titles and call 222-1180 and tell Pam your name and where you're from, and you might win. That's all you have to do. Very easy. All right, so I'm running out of breath, and I'm also running out of reasons to call. There's plenty of them, obviously. So pick one or come up with your own. And we're here, and we're going to be here for the next hour. We're grateful to know what you're thinking. We're always talking, Mike and I, and Pam sometimes too. And we'd like you to talk today. We've got room today, so come on, join us. 222-1180, 1-800-295-1180. Mike, I wish somebody would call that 800 number because I just want to see if it works. Would we know if it was on the 800 number, Pam? Yes.
Pam
All
says
right. So
yes.
if you're out there and you want to use that 800 number, give us a ring. And I'm wondering, Mike, what you're thinking about. I see you over there looking so pensive. Say hello to the folks.
Yep. Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday. Always good to be here. And, thinking about Mother's Day, of course, as you said, it is Mother's Day weekend. And as you know, my mom died a couple of years ago. But, when she passed away, some friends of mine gave me a magnolia sapling, which I planted. And I hadn't thought about it at the time, but after the first year, it actually bloomed on Mother's Day and it's
Wow.
in bloom again. So I don't know if they intended that, but that's always a nice
I
reminder.
take that as a sign. I think
It
that's
is indeed.
beautiful.
Yeah. So that's part of what I'm thinking about. And one of the other things I thought about, it's been a while since we've covered some basic estate planning topics. So I thought it'd be good to get back to some basics today. And a very common question that I get, especially from folks who haven't been to one of our workshops, is what is the difference between a will and a trust? And it is a very basic question and also a very important question. So let's get into that a bit.
Yeah.
And actually let's look at the similarities first, because I think that'll help us understand the differences better. Both a will and a trust can be used to pass on our assets upon our death. Real estate, investments, bank accounts, personal property, anything we own can be passed on using a will or a trust. Also, either a will or trust can be drafted to avoid estate taxes. Either can be drafted to provide asset protection for our beneficiaries' inheritances, whether that's general creditor protection, divorce protection, or protecting government benefits for special needs beneficiaries. Both a will and a trust allow you to specify not only who will receive your assets when you pass away, but also who will be responsible for overseeing the administration of your estate. So, some definite similarities, but
Mhm.
how a will and a trust do that is a big difference. Because if we use a will to pass on our assets, the will needs to be probated. And Joanna, I get pushback from people all the time on this issue. And they'll say, well, Mike, I thought that was the whole purpose of a will, so that the estate doesn't have to go through probate. But as we've talked about many times here on the show, if you use a will to pass on your assets, you are guaranteeing that your family will be dealing with a probate proceeding. And, probate typically takes a long time. Bank investment accounts typically are frozen for some period of time before the executor obtains authority to access them for paying bills and other expenses. It tends to be very stressful for the family, and it tends to be expensive. And when I was thinking about the expense factor, it's really no secret in the legal world. Johanna, when I started my law practice over 38 years ago now, I purchased a book from the American Bar Association titled "How to Start and Build a Law Practice." And it's a very helpful book. It was very helpful to me.
That's how you
But
did it.
exactly, that's the whole secret right there. But there's a chapter in the book titled "Where There's a Will, There's a Way to Probate." And the whole point of that chapter, it advised young attorneys starting out, draft wills for clients, do them on the cheap just to get them into your office. And then you keep the wills in your office so that when the client passes away, the family would come back to you and they would retain you to do the probate, which would turn out to be very lucrative. So,
Ouch.
no secret that it can be quite expensive. Conversely, when we use a trust to pass on our assets, and assuming the trust is properly funded, we avoid the probate proceeding entirely. We're able to administer the estate without any court involvement. It happens more quickly, it's less stressful, and it is less expensive. Another significant difference is that a will only takes effect when you die. It does nothing to address issues that can arise during your lifetime. In particular, the management of your assets if you become incapacitated, and the protection of your assets from nursing home or other long term care expense. A trust, on the other hand, can be drafted to address those issues, again, saving your family considerable time, stress, expense. And, Joanna, the only way to protect your assets from nursing home or other long term care expense and still maintain control over your assets is by using a trust.
Yeah.
Um, so I think those are, again, it's very basic, but I think those are the most significant differences between a will and a trust. And of course, you'll want to talk with an experienced estate planning attorney to determine which approach is going to best serve you and your family. It's not
Terrific.
one size fits all.
Yes, thank you so much, Mike. And if you want to talk to Mike, you can talk to him at the law office of Michael Robinson, and he's in Pittsford, New York. But there's also a lot of other attorneys. And like Mike said, make sure you're talking to someone who knows what they're doing and that stays up with things for you. I'm hearing wills equal probate equal money, and we don't like to have people spending extra money here on the show, and we like to save you money, right? Trust, that's the way to go to protect your assets. Thanks again, Mike, for recapping that. And, talking about saving money and health and all the things that we try to talk about on the show, having clean air ducts also keeps you healthy and it's energy efficient. And if you have clean air ducts, it'll help with your HVAC system, and that's with your heat or air conditioning, if you don't know what that means. And you can reduce energy consumption and guess what? Lower your utility bill. So saving money, all about it. Indoor air professionals can make your home more energy efficient like they did with ours, and you won't have to dust as much. That's awesome. You can save cash. So why not do it? That's $160 off today if you call Peter at Air Duct for an air duct cleaning, and it's Western New York's cleaning experts, Indoor Air Pros, right here in Rochester. Save on duct cleaning, save on an air purifier too. And the number is 427-8020. That's 585-427-8020, extension 303. Breathe easier, save money, and dust less. Call Peter right now, 585-427-8020, extension 303. Now, we've got a special open line and open mics kind of agenda today. So we're talking about vertigo and dizziness next. Call us if you have a question on Seniors Rock Radio.
And welcome back to the Seniors Rock Show. Vertigo, dizziness, and balance-related conditions, they are among the most common health problems in adults. Nearly 40% of U.S. adults experience vertigo at least once in their lifetime, with women slightly more likely to get it than men. Today's guest, Emily Pulowski, is a doctor of physical therapy and the assistant clinic coordinator at Agape Physical Therapy in Chili. Emily's expertise comes from years of treating vestibular disorders and balance disorders. And today, Emily is going to give us some insight into dizziness and vertigo. Emily, welcome to the show.
Hi, glad to be here.
Hey, Emily, it's great to meet you on the phone and on the show. And we're so happy you're here because we do love to have people from Agape with us. I am going to start the questions. I'm Joanna. Did I introduce myself? I'm sorry. Anyway, hello, Emily. I'm going to start with question number one. If someone experiences dizziness or spinning when they move their head in certain ways, can physical therapy address that?
Absolutely. So there's many causes of dizziness. So we get you in, we take a look at what might be causing the spinning and the dizziness, and we go from there.
Well, that sounds good. That doesn't sound too complicated. And I've had the experience with the folks at Agape, so I know they are very thorough. And it actually was a fun experience for me, and I learned a lot. Anyway, let's go to number two. What are the common causes of dizziness and vertigo? Because I hear people say all the time, oh, so and so has vertigo, but they never say how they got it.
So a lot of the time, there's no known cause. We're not exactly sure why some people are more prone to it than others,
Huh.
but there are some things that put you at a higher risk. So being over the age of 60, having had a concussion, a hit to the head, which could be from a motor vehicle accident, from a fall, any inner ear infection. So people with chronic ear infections can be more likely to have them. Keeping your head in one position even, so going to the dentist or being on bed rest for a long period of time can sometimes cause an episode of vertigo. Not uncommon for us to see people after they've had a total joint replacement who have some symptoms of it. Also, any history of brain disorders, so like a stroke or a brain tumor or something, those can all cause some dizziness, and even if it's not a true positional vertigo.
Huh. Interesting.
Interesting, yeah. And of course, when we were kids, we'd spin around to make ourselves dizzy on purpose, but it's not a very comfortable thing when it just happens. Emily, how long does physical therapy typically take in order for someone to see results, and some relief from their dizziness or their vertigo?
So it can really depend on what's causing the vertigo. So something like a concussion could take somewhere from 4 to 6 weeks, um, or a little bit longer, depending on how long it takes for their brain to heal. But if it's something like you were just laying in one position for too long, I've had some people where it's instant relief, never comes back, and some people it takes about that same time, 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. And what could so if I were there for treatment for dizziness or vertigo, what what could I expect during a physical therapy session? What exactly would be happening?
So we'd get you in. We would ask a lot of questions. So if you've ever been to physical therapy before, normally the first part of talking isn't so long, but I spend a good 20, 30 minutes really diving deep into what causes your symptoms, what symptoms do you have. So any hearing changes, vision changes, if you're feeling sick to your stomach, any of those things. Also, what seems to trigger your symptoms and what might seem to make your symptoms feel better. And then from there, we go into a comprehensive exam. So we take a look at the head and neck, since sometimes our neck can play a role into dizziness as well. Take a look at how everything's moving, make sure there's no other causes that could possibly be causing your dizziness, such as medication reactions, any changes in your eyesight, so prescription lens changes, all that, making sure none of that might be at play. And
Huh.
then we go through a really comprehensive exam. So we look at how your eyes are moving and any positional changes with your symptoms.
Well, I am impressed, and it is very interesting, how you can get these things without even thinking about it. And I have a question, Emily. What about people now that are looking down at their phones all the time? They're all, that sitting, or standing with their neck down. Are you seeing an increase because of that kind of thing?
I am not. Actually, typically those positions don't bother people because of the
Hmm.
position of the head.
Good.
Um, it's usually more actually shopping, looking back and forth in a grocery store, watching their kids or their grandkids' soccer game.
Huh.
Um, even trying to get on the floor to play with their kids. I see a lot of people coming in because they're dizzy and they can't get on the floor, or they're scared they're not going to be able to get back up from there.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting stuff. Do you have anything else, any other tips, Emily, before we have to go? And we'll give your contact information as well.
Of course, if you're dizzy, don't wait. You don't, dizziness isn't normal. It's, you're not supposed to get dizzy as you age. And the sooner you can get treatment for it, the better you're going to feel. So
Uh-huh.
don't hesitate to either give our office a call or even your primary doctor to see what can be done.
So, what about if someone stands up and they get a little dizzy? Because if you hear that, oh, you stood up too fast. That's not. Is that what we're talking about as well? Is that kind of thing dizziness, or is that one time thing that just goes away? Is
So
that
that
something
can
to
be
be
related to
concerned
your,
about? I guess is the question.
so any dizziness, especially if it's not something that's happened to you before, is something to be concerned about.
All right.
Because it could mean blood pressure changes. It could be a sign of dehydration or malnutrition. So it's
Hmm.
always good to get those things checked out, especially if it makes you concerned and it's new for you. Um,
Excellent.
so
Good
yeah, so
advice.
don't.
Yeah, very good
Yep,
advice. And things that, as we age, those things are super important, and we're all dealing with those things. So thank you for bringing that stuff up. Thank you for being on the show today, Emily.
of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, we love having the Agape folks on, and thank you for joining us. And you can reach Emily or any of the other professionals at Agape Physical Therapy by going to agapephysicaltherapy.com, or you can call 585-889 7777 889-7777. That's easy to remember. Also easy to remember is that recovery, wellness, and performance started Agape PT. And we're so happy to be able to bring you this information. I've learned a lot today. How about you, Mike?
Yeah, and just to, I think it's so important, as Emily said, it's not normal to be dizzy. And a lot of
Mhm.
times, especially, people in our generation, we were taught to tough it out. But if it's something that can lead to a fall, which obviously dizziness can, as we get older, falls become a much more serious event. So, yeah, I echo that. If you're having dizziness, have it checked out. Don't wait.
Great, great advice again. Aren't we something? The whole bunch of us.
Isn't it amazing?
All helping each other. I love it. And I hope, folks, you're loving it. And we'd love to hear from you today. By the way, we are live. I mentioned that before, and I'm going to keep saying it. We left time for that. So please give us a call. Tell us what you'd like to hear on the show. Tell your mom hello, happy Mother's Day, whatever you want to do. Just give us a jingle. Let us know you're listening. And again, it's 585-222-1180. And next segment, if you stick around, you might win a prize. And that's right, what is that? After the news, I guess, on News Radio, Wham 1180 and Seniors Rock Radio. Stay right there. Well, hello, and it's Joanna. I'm your host, and I'm here with my co-host, attorney Michael Robinson and Pam. And I just want to remind everybody, you that would be you listeners, that we are here for you. That we come in every Saturday, and we are just a phone call away because we're live, just like yeah, the old-fashioned real live radio. So we'd love for you to call us, check in, whatever you'd like to do. Say anything you like. Well, not anything because we do have a delay, and Pam will take care of that for you. But anyway, let's uh let's think positive. And we've got some things to discuss here in the next segment or two about things that are coming up. And I wanted to remind you that you can win a pair of tickets to see the RPO's Twist and Shout Beatles show Saturday, May 25th at 8 p.m. at the Eastman Theater. If you listen carefully to the program for a Beatles song title, and then you call 222-1180, that's area code 585, when you hear the Beatles song title for a chance to win two tickets to the Saturday, May 25th Beatles Twist and Shout Music of the Beatles, a symphonic experience. So there it is. There's your first clue. And we're going to do this again during the show. Be listening if you haven't already heard the Beatles song title.
And
I
that's the
can't give,
fourth caller, is that right? Gets the
yes.
tickets?
Fourth caller, because guess, yes, there are four Beatles, right? Who knows? Wait, let's ask Pam. Do you know all the names, Pam? Stumper.
So we got Paul,
Yep.
Ringo, John.
Mhm.
What's the last one? Um,
Oh,
My
no.
favorite Beatle.
oh man,
Should we
I
give
don't
her a
know the
hint?
last one. I'll be honest, I can't think of it.
Starts with a G.
A G?
Yeah.
I don't know. Gerald?
Oh,
Jerry?
oh,
I don't know.
I can't stop laughing. And I
Gordon,
can't,
Gideon.
I wouldn't have
no,
guessed
it
that.
would be George.
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 Oh, George. Oh my gosh. Yes.
George Paul. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh, we got a caller
And
now.
Ringo. Oh, there's a
so there
call.
you go. All right. First one in.
You think they heard that? They heard me giving them the hints there?
Could be, could be. So
And
that's,
yeah,
that's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm going to make it to that particular RPO concert, but I can just imagine that's going to be a lot of fun.
it is fun, and we saw them, I don't know if it's the same people that are with them or not, but they had they were dressed like the Beatles, they were it was they were playing in front of the RPO, it was fabulous, the music just
Oh,
was
okay.
outstanding, outstanding. Yeah, it was as though they were all playing together, and
Sure.
just it just enhanced the songs that we know and love.
Yeah, well, so many of those songs have, orchestral arrangements in the recordings. So yeah, it's a
Yeah.
natural combination.
Yes, really cool. When you hear like, 10 violins going at it, it's just it takes you out of the room. It's just beautiful. So congratulations, by the way, to the RPO. It is 100 years that they've been with us. We're very proud of our Philharmonic, and we've had some wonderful stars come out of there. And not to mention the school, the Eastman School there, people from all over the world. can come and learn music from some of the best, right?
Yeah, and they've got a big celebratory gala coming up here later this month, I believe.
Is correct. It's going to be a big party and a gala with, fancy dresses. And I think it's black tie optional, but all to, toast our Philharmonic and for all of the years they've been with us, 100 years, just like WHAM. That's another thing. It's
That's
really
right.
that we're celebrating these centennials, right? Oh,
Absolutely.
I
And
see that
we
we have a winner, Kathleen from Rochester. I guess she picked up on it. Did she know what we said, Pam? Did she guess?
She did. She guessed twist and shout.
Yes, smart. Okay, I said it like 2 or 3 times. Nice job, Kathleen. Enjoy the show. And we do have 2 more tickets, so keep listening, people. And there's speaking of things to do, there's another show coming up, and I think you might remember Rev Mo, Reverend Mother, and her name is Phil Contestable. She was on a few weeks back, and she has been doing some shows out in Albion, and the last couple sold out. So I thought I'd mention this. She's going to be at the Cabaret at Studio B in Albion, and that is going to be on the 16th of May. It's during the day. They're matinees, which is fun because you can go down there and have lunch and enjoy yourself. 1:15 p.m. And she's also going to be there on the 22nd, 23rd. Now, here's the thing. You have to call because you can't buy tickets ahead of time, but you should call and talk to Amy about coming down. She'll tell you about the tickets and where to park and all that good stuff. And the number is 585-354-2320. So if you enjoyed Reverend Mo, make sure you check that out at the Cabaret at Studio B in Albion. It's also the home of Jim Salmon, right?
That is true. That is true. So
And
yeah, that's Rev Mo always puts on a good show, and you want to be careful that you're not drinking anything when she's talking because you might lose it.
I know she does. She comes up with some real whammies there, and it's always a hoot and just for fun. She's in the full garb, the full nun garb, and even if you didn't go to Catholic school, she is very funny and she'll have you laughing. So, what else is going on out there this week? There's a lot of things. I
There,
uh,
yeah,
I was going to mention, sorry, Mike, to jump in here, but lifespan, this is important. Another person that we had on actually last week, the HLAA, which is Hearing Loss Association of America, they are having a day of hearing display at Lifespan on South Clinton. And Lifespan is doing, I guess it's Lifespan's event. It's called the Day of Hearing, but HLAA will be there and they have an assistive listening device. And it's like a demo center, and they have I think 30 or odd, devices or more that you can check out and test and talk to them about. So I thought that was pretty neat.
that is. In fact, I when Art was on last week, just talking about the different resources, I had no idea how many resources and what kinds of resources are available for people dealing with hearing loss.
And you would think we have stellar services here in Rochester because we do have a high number of people who have hearing impairment. So we have the Institute of the Deaf and all kinds of other programs. So I was glad to bring that organization to everybody that listens.
For sure. And
Mm.
yeah, but yeah, we've got, we're getting into festival season. We'll talk a little bit more about that after the next break, but City Magazine in this month's issue has a lineup of all of the festivals in the area. I don't know if it's all of them, but it certainly seems to me to be a pretty comprehensive guide. So
Mhm.
so yeah, check that out, folks. That's free. You can find that at a lot of different newsstands.
Yeah.
Very good. Hey,
Yeah.
so hang back or hang on, everybody, until we come back from the break. We're going to have another opportunity to win some tickets to the RPO's Beetle Extravaganza, and we'll talk more about what's going on here in the area this weekend and ongoing here on News Radio Wham 1180.
And we're back, and we are rocking here on C News Rock Radio. Thank you for joining us today. We're all good. We're going to wrap the hour up here in the next few minutes, but I want to say, we're mentioning things to do out there, folks, and we tell you this all the time. Socializing is very healthy. It's just as healthy as eating right, exercising. You can't isolate, it's not healthy. So that's why we're telling you these things. I know you can go online, check it out, but we thought we'd gather some of these things together, especially since, summer's coming or here comes the sun, is what I was thinking. For example, Seabreeze is opening on 5/18, and guess what? Tuesdays all summer, if you're 60 or over, free admission to the park. I think that's awesome. And so take the grandkids even if you don't want to go on a ride. I mean, you could enjoy yourself there during the summer, and it's a great place to go. Now, we mentioned Lilac Festival a few minutes ago too, Mike, and I know you were talking about a special space they have allotted this year. Tell the folks about that.
Yeah, something very cool, and it is new this year. The Lilac Festival partnered with a local nonprofit, Autism Up, to create what they're calling sensory space.
Cool.
And it's set aside apart from the music venue area and the very busy spaces, and it's specifically designed for folks who have sensory sensitivity. There's some for the kids. There's some special things. So
Very nice.
it's another way to promote inclusivity, and I just think that's really good. I guess it's located near the Elmwood Ave entrance to the park, but wanted to make people aware of that. Also, Wednesday, the 19th, I believe it is Seniors Day
Yay.
at the Lilac Fest, and there's going to be specific entertainment and activities for the senior demographic, shall we
Nice.
say. Yeah, so that's good, and of course, a lot of great music, good lineup. You were commenting Danielle Ponder is going to be there,
She's
along with some
skyrocketing. She's
others.
great.
Oh, and she's fabulous. And of course,
Yeah.
our friend Dino Kay is emceeing all the music this week.
Yeah. Dino the Van Dog's back. If you folks have been around for a while, you might remember that name. But yeah, he's still around. He does a great job. He's so much fun. And we saw him at the Record Archive not long ago, and he does that every Friday night. So fun stuff. And we have a trivia winner. I think Bernadette figured out that I said, "Here comes the sun." Is that right, Pam?
There we go.
Excellent. And it's her birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Bernadette. I'm so happy that you're going to go to the show. And Pam's got your info, and all you have to do is give your name at will call, and you're all set. And don't
All
anybody else
right.
go and say they're Bernadette, by the way. I just said that on anyway, but what a great thing of your birthday. And again, it's Mother's Day this weekend. And I was thinking earlier, everybody can use a hand, and one of our sponsors is Everyday Hands. And Lauren Getz has a fabulous group of people who just get out there if you need a little bit of help. And she has a very unique 2-hour minimum. So some other, companies you have to, commit to a longer time. So if you need some things done, some simple tasks, that's what they're all about. And you can get a gift certificate, everydayhandshelp.com. Again, everydayhandshelp.com. Lauren and her group are fantastic. We'd love for you to see or, check out their gift certificates if you're still looking for something to do. And I see Pam's on the phone, but I think we've given out all the tickets today. Mike, what are you thinking? You have anything in closing thoughts?
Well, I was going to note that it's the beginning of gardening season. It's actually past the very beginning, but I've just noticed lately a lot of folks out working in their yards, taking advantage of the warmer weather and a little bit of sunshine, hopefully this weekend. So
Hmm.
we'll be doing a little bit of that at our house as well.
Awesome. And so it's okay for me to do my window boxes now. They're not going to get too cold or anything, huh? Good time to do it.
Uh, I would say yes, but don't blame me if we get a frost.
Uh-oh. All right. And we did get another caller here, and she's looking to find out when the day of hearing is. And I believe I have that information. Let's see. Uh,
Oh yeah, with
well,
lifespan, sure.
yeah, I don't have it right in front of me. I apologize, but I believe it is coming up this week. I want to say the 16th, but please double check that. Call Lifespan. They are in Clinton Ave. That's their headquarters. And I neglected to write that on my notes. Uh-oh. Anyway, they will tell you if you call Lifespan. They're very helpful there. And whatever you're doing tomorrow, I hope that whether you're a mother or you're celebrating your mother or you're not a mother and you just love to celebrate Sundays, have fun, enjoy yourself. Mike?
Yeah, and everybody, it's been another great hour. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. And as always, be well and be kind.
Important stuff. And, you're important to us. And again, it's 585-222-1180. In the future, again, we're live. And thank you for the folks who called. And even if you didn't win tickets, we're glad that you heard us and that we're glad that you called. And I wanted to do a quick shout out to some fabulous women that I met yesterday at a friend's house. They did it's kind of a professional lunch and learn group, and 14 fabulous women that just got together to share and talk and support each other. And it was wonderful and great lunch too, by the way. And I just wanted to say hello to them and thank them for including me in that luncheon yesterday. It was wonderful, and um, I learned a lot. And we're going to talk more about that at another time. But we talked about the Sudan and the lack of clean water there. And that's going to be another show because I'm going to have the woman who's the executive director on the show as a guest coming up soon. And if you folks have any suggestions for us, please let us know. And you can do that by going to the website too. You don't have to call because obviously we have a lot of shy listeners, but you can go on the website. It's Seniors Rock Radio, and that's rock with a K, ROCK, seniorsrockradio.com. There's a comment page. We get messages through that all the time. Feel free. You don't have to come on the air to talk to us or to give us some suggestions or just to say, hey, you like the show. Anything that you'd like to do, let us know. And again, it's important to us. We're advocates. We're not just here to have fun, which we do every week. And Mike's nodding over there, but we do. We have a good time, but we have an important mission here, and that's to support everybody that's aging. And guess what? The day you're born, you're starting to age. So let's get together, be supportive, and never forget that seniors rock.